Back at it again with the Mobius Dickus, chapter 28, Ahab. That's right, only 28 chapters in, we finally meet Ahab, and boy is he just as much of a mystery before this chapter as he is after this chapter. But let's look at a couple of passages which help elevate and establish just how weird and strange Ahab is. The first one's a bit of a ways in. We get the description of Captain Ahab as he stands on the quarterdeck. It says he looked like a man cut away from the stake. And if you're curious, the stake is either a strong wooden or metal post with a point in the ground, or like a small anvil or a vertical rod. So it's something hard and something tough. When the fire has overrunningly wasted all the limbs without consuming them. So I assume that's like a wooden stake that has been burnt but not destroyed, or taking away one particle from their compacted, aged robustness. His whole high, broad form seemed made of solid bronze and shaped in an unalterable mold, like Cellini's cast Perseus. And if you're curious about Perseus, it's the son of Zeus and Danae, a hero celebrated for many achievements. Riding the winged horse Pegasus, he cut off the head of the Gorgon Medusa and gave it to Athena. Okay, so a rather positive allusion there. Threading its way out from among his gray hairs and continuing right down one side of his tawny, scorched face and neck till it disappeared in his clothing, you saw a slender rod-like mark, lividly whitish. It resembled that perpendicular seam sometimes made in the straight, lofty trunk of a great tree, when the upper lightning tearingly darts down it, and without wrenching a single twig, peels and grooves out the bark from top to bottom, ere running off into the soil, leaving the tree still greenly alive, but branded. Okay, so both of these images, the notion of having been burnt but still surviving and being marked by lightning, it obviously forces us to ask, how do we interpret this mark? What does this mean? Is this a mark of evil? Is this a reference to the mark of Cain? Is Ahab some kind of kinslayer like Cain? Is he someone evil? Is it a mark of power and inspiration, thus the allusion to Perseus? The fire resistance can have the same questions asked. Is that a sign of power? Is that a sign of being unbreakable? Or is it a sign of resistance to the normal or the human, and thus being kind of supernatural, but not in a good way? Hence the flames, right? Drawing from some Western iconography with hell. Okay, so what is the only thing we can conclude based on this passage? Ahab is mysterious. Ahab is hard to interpret. So if I wanted to, I could mark this in yellow, but let's say I don't. Let's say I keep it orange. Certainly we get to yellow with the next line, which says, whether that mark was born with him or whether it was the scar left by some desperate wound, no one could certainly say. And what can you certainly say about Ahab, right? Like, yeah, you can't tell where that scar came from, but certainly his shroud of mystery, his unknowability, emphasizes the ambiguity of the multiple interpretations above that one line when it comes to him being like a burned stake or him having a mark. What is this guy? What does he represent? I think Melville is very, very brilliant in his writing to not tell you right away. He's going to force you to think to yourself, boy, I want to find out what Ahab's all about. I mean, he hid him for 28 chapters, and now even once you meet him, Melville is just turning up the dial once again on his unknowability. Same thing here in the next passage. There was an infinity of firmest fortitude. Ooh, you love the alliteration there. Infinity of firmest fortitude. A determinate, unsurrenderable willfulness in the fixed and fearless forward. Look at that again. Dedication of that glance. Not a word he spoke, nor did his officers say anything to him, though by all their minutest gestures and expressions they plainly showed the uneasy, if not painful, consciousness of being under a troubled master eye. And not only that, but moody, stricken Ahab stood before them with a crucifixion in his face, and all the nameless, regal, overbearing dignity of some mighty woe. So once again, we are just dialing up the mystery to 1000. This guy is willful. Apparently his defining trait is willfulness. But what is he willful about? What does he have strong opinions about? He's intense. But why so intense? What is he so intense about? What is this guy's deal? I think it's a masterclass in building tension, in building curiosity about someone who will turn out to have very interesting ideas. And I know it sucks that we're at chapter 28 and I can't just tell you, here's what Ahab's all about, but we don't have any evidence yet, and I only work with the evidence that I'm given. But certainly what we're given here elevates our desire to know and understand in a really, I think, successful way. And then finally, I just wanted to pick out this last passage as just being, it's not funny. I put it in blue. It's not funny, but how can you not like this writing? If you like literature, you should like this writing. This is talking about Ahab being, cold and weird and seemingly never changing his constant weird disposition, except occasionally. And it says, nevertheless, ere long, the warm, warbling persuasiveness of the pleasant holiday weather we came to seemed gradually to charm him from his mood. And then look at the use of language here. For as when the red-cheeked dancing girls, April and May, trip home to the wintry misanthropic woods, even the barest, ruggedest, most thunder-cloven old oak will at least send forth some few green sprouts to welcome such glad-hearted visitants. So Ahab did, in the end, a little respond to the playful allurings of that girlish air. More than once did he put forth the faint blossom of a look which in any other man would have soon flowered out in a smile. So I just love the language. I love the metaphor of the oak in the April and May puts forth buds. Obviously, you have the parallel imagery of the thunder-cloven old oak, just like his mark looks like he's been struck by thunder. It's just good writing. If you don't like that metaphor and that choice of words, I don't know what to do with you, man. Gonna have to throw you off the Pequod. All right. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys chapter 29.